Hi YouTube. This is part 2 of my methadone treatment vlog. I wanted to talk a little bit more about it. First off, I want everybody to know that I never injected. It started with me just taking the pills orally, and then I moved on to snorting them. Never stuck a needle in my arm. Not that I look down on anybody that does that, but I just never did. And the school thing, when I started the methadone, they start you on a very low dose because it's a severely, it's a dangerous drug. You can OD very easily on it. And so they started me on 20 mils, and it makes you really sleepy, really tired. And so I'd be sleeping for like hours and hours and hours. And what happened was, my daughter had gone to, it was around Christmas time, and my daughter had gone to the city her father lives in for Christmas. So that was really good that she was gone when I started, because I did have the opportunity to sleep, but my school suffered. I ended up having to drop out of school because I needed to concentrate on on getting clean. So, I started on 20 mils, and they would up you by 5 mils once a week. You had to see the doctor every time. And so they started me on 20, and then, but I was still using pills. And I'd go to the doctor and I'd say, yeah, I'm still using, and he said, oh, well, I don't expect you not to be using. It's not as if you're on a high enough dose to not be sick. So to me, that was like a green light, right? My addict brain thinking like, oh my God, the doctor said it's okay for me to still use, so I'm still going to use. And so I was still using opiates up until I was on, I think, got to 80 mils. I told myself, when I get to 80 milligrams, I'm not going to need them anymore, and I'm going to stop. And what really happened, I think, is when you get to a high dose, the methadone, how it works is it blocks the receptors or something in your brain. So even if I wanted to use at that point, or even now, I wouldn't get high. It would just be like a waste of my money. And so, I mean, and it's dangerous too. That's how people end up ODing who are on methadone and still using, because you have to put so much of the drug in your body to catch the buzz. But, it's not as if your body's immune to it. It's just, your brain's immune to it. So people end up ODing and dying. So, it took a while for me to actually get off completely. And I haven't used since I started like 80 milligrams, which is probably 8 or 9 months. And like I said, about 6 months into it, I told my parents. Now, I need to explain myself a little bit. When I said I had to call my mom to take care of my daughter never saw me using. She didn't know anything about it. I mean, I don't want anyone to think that, my daughter was suffering because of it, because she wasn't, but she just saw me sick lots, and I feel really guilty about that. I obviously wasn't a very fun mom when I couldn't get off the couch. And thank God I have my family close to me, and who at that point they just thought there was something seriously wrong with me, like I was ill. And I ended up telling my parents, which was really hard for me. My parents are very straight-edged people. They're not like me at all. And, they obviously knew something was up. You can't know an addict and not, figure something's wrong. But, and it wasn't like I was saying, oh, by the way, I'm a drug addict. It was like, I told them I was a drug addict, but I'd been in treatment for about 6 months, and, I'm getting better. So that kind of softened the blow a little bit for them. But that was one of the hardest things I've ever done, was telling my parents. And, my mom, I think it's brought us a lot closer, where my mom and I still talk about it. We've gone to, some meetings together, and they did a documentary here at the college. There was a movie made about it. I don't know, like in the city I live in, and in northern Ontario, Oxycontin and opiate addiction is like an epidemic. There are two methadone clinics in the city I live in, and there's like 160,000 people here. And they're both full. Like, they're not taking patients anymore. I lived in Sault Ste. Marie for, about 10 years. Just when I had my daughter was born there. And it's an epidemic there too. And like in a lot of the Indian reserves around here, and people that live in the smaller cities that don't have access to methadone clinics, like, I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have the clinic. Like, I just feel so horrible for people that don't have the option of going to the clinic like I do. And I know a lot of people look down on people who are on methadone, and they think, like, especially people that have kicked without the methadone and are completely clean. Some of them think that, you're just trading one drug for another. And initially, you kind of are, but methadone breaks the cycle of using, being sick, using, being sick, and it helps you get on your feet and get your shit together. And, like, I have a great job again, and, my daughter's life is good, my life is good, I have a good relationship with my parents, and I'm rebuilding my life. And I don't know, I guess that's all I wanted to say. Yeah, so see you later.